Siman Vav Sif Dalet. Yesh Nagan She'achar She'berech Echod Birkas HaShachar V'onu Achar V'Amei. Some people have the minhag that after one person had made the brachas of Birkas HaShachar and everyone's answered Amen. And one of the people, one of the other people in the congregation says all the brachas and everyone answers Amen to him. Because it has a oisim called oisim she'onu Amen tchila. Everyone says all the brachas because Hashachar and everyone answers Amen. That's the idea. Right? So the Shulchan Aruch says that some people were worried to say that perhaps it's a bracha of Atala, because when the people answered Amen the first time, they were yotz the bracha, and therefore we have a principle of Shomei Koina. Let's give an introduction to this. There's a principle called Shomei Koina. If you hear a bracha and you have in mind to be yotza the bracha, then it counts as if you made the bracha yourself. So you're yotza. Now you can't make the bracha again afterwards because you've already been yotza by listening to the person beforehand. So perhaps this is incorrect what these people are doing, because they were yotza when they all answered Amen the first time. They were yotza the Birkas HaShachar. How can they then make it again themselves? So the Shulchan Aruch says it's not a problem. Don't say that that this is incorrect what they're doing because they've been yotza through the Amen they answered the first Amen they answered. Because one of the conditions in order to be yotza Shomei Koina is that the person who says that makes the bracha and the person who's listening to the bracha both have to have intention to be yotza, that this should count for the person who's listening. He should be yotza. Now here the person who's making the bracha was making it for himself. He wasn't intending to be yotza anyone else, and therefore there's no problem to do as these people are doing. Even if the person making the bracha had intention to be yotza everyone, if the people listening have no intention to be yotza the bracha, they just want to answer Amen, but they don't want to be yotza the bracha, then they're not yotza, and they can make their own bracha afterwards.
Can you say Amen and not be yotza?
Yes.
If you have in mind not to be.
Yes, you have in mind not to be yotza. You just have in mind to say Amen, but you don't want to be yotza the bracha.
Like it's still, for me, it's still Shabbos before Rabbeinu Tam, but they say Havdalah in the shul near my house. So I say Amen to the brachas, but I don't say Havdalah till Motzei Shabbos at Rabbeinu Tam. So I just say Amen because I hear a bracha, but I don't have any intention to be yotze.
What does Amen mean in that situation?
Amen means, Amen in all situations means that you're affirming that it's true. There's two different types of brachas. Some brachas you're affirming that this comment, that the statement made is true, and in some of them you're saying that it should become true. Depends if the bracha is something that on something that happened or something that will happen. You're either affirming that it's true or saying that it should become true, the bracha that was made. But whether you're yotze or not is independent of that, of answering Amen. Right? We're going to see even that it's so independent that you can actually be yotze the bracha without even answering Amen. We're going to see that in a minute. Right? If you have intention to be yotze the bracha, even if you didn't answer Amen, you can still be yotze. It's preferable to answer Amen, but you don't have to. It's two independent things. One, answering Amen, and number two, being yotze with the bracha. Two independent things, right? So what you mentioned, Havdalah, something more important than that. You mentioned you're machmir for Rabbeinu Tam. Even someone who's not machmir for Rabbeinu Tam, if he listens to Havdalah in shul, right? If he's going to go home and make Havdalah for his family, then when he listens to Amen in shul, he should answer Amen, of course, like you answer Amen to any bracha Amen. But he should have in mind not to be yotze the Havdalah. Because if he's yotze the Havdalah, then he might have problems at home. Right? Might have problems. It's not so simple, but it's definitely better not to be yotze. So you're hearing Havdalah in shul if you're going to make it.
With Birkas HaShachar, is the normal situation when the person says it out loud that he intends to be, if it's a shliach tzibur, that he intends to be motzi the other people?
Excellent. So we do say that with the shliach tzibur, that shliach tzibur always has in mind to be yotze everyone. That's the job of a shliach tzibur, and he has in mind to be yotze anyone who wants to be yotze.
So this is a yotze min klal, the case.
Here we're not talking about shliach tzibur. Here we're talking about just everyone in the Kehilla. They just go around to the circle. Everyone makes the brachas. Right. But even if it was a shliach tzibur, as he ends off, that was the last line. Even if the person who made the brachos did intend to be yotze, to be motzi everyone else, as long as the people listening didn't have intention to be yotze, then it's also okay they're not yotze. Right? You need both of them. Right. If either of them has no intention to be, hasn't got the correct intentions, then this is not yotze. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Siman Zayin. Let's go straight on to Siman Zayin. Din levorich birkas asher yotza kol hayom achar atolas mayim uvoy daled seifim. Aleph. Kol hayom kishoyse tzocha ben ketanim ben gedolim levorich asher yotza v'lo yanon tilas yadayim. So all the day, whenever a person goes to the bathroom, and whether it's for number 1 or number 2, mevorich asher yotza v'lo yanon tilas yadayim. He makes the bracha asher yotza. He does not make the bracha anon tilas yadayim. Anon tilas yadayim is only in the morning. Like we said before davening, it's not after going during the day. During the day, he only makes asher yotza. Even if he's going to learn or daven, there's no bracha of Netilas Yadayim. Even if his hands were dirty, when he went to the bathroom, he made them dirty, he still does not make the bracha of Netilas Yadayim. Only asher yotza.
And that's going on kol hayom. So, as opposed to first thing in the morning. We finished talking about the first one in the morning. We're now moving on talking about the rest of the day.
Does that mean that he doesn't necessarily wash with a cup, that he washes just to clean his hands?
Okay. So the question is, does he have to use a cup after the bath? So we saw that in Siman Daled Seif Yud Ches. We had a whole list of things where you have to wash your hands. When you have to wash your hands, a whole list of things that you did when you have to wash your hands, and one of them was hayotze mebeis hakise. That is it. Yes, hayotze mebeis hakise. Hayotze mebeis hakise was one of the things mentioned, and we saw then in the Mishnah Berurah that he mentioned this is afilu lo osot. This is even someone who went into a bathroom and he didn't actually do anything there. He just walked in and walked out. One should wash his hands, and then he brought a machlokas if one should wash his hands 3 times or not. And he mentioned that the opinion he brought from Magen Avraham was that one doesn't need to. So he mentioned the Ikar Adin, a person when he leaves the bathroom and just has to wash his hands with water, no kli, it doesn't have to do it 3 times. There is an opinion the Mishnah Berurah brings to wash 3 times each hand, and with a kli. One could be machmir, and one thing to do.
But you're really washing just for hygiene at that point. That's really why you're washing.
It does say there's a ruach hara as well. It does say that there's a ruach hara in these places.
Whenever you enter a bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
In the bathroom. But I should just mention there now, with something like this where you washing 3 times with the kli, where it's not the ikar dinner of the halacha, it's just a chumrah. If one decides to take it on, whenever one decides to take on something which one doesn't need to do, and it's an option extra, one should always say bli neder before one does it the first time. Because if one starts doing it with intention and continuing to do it, and then it becomes difficult for him when he wants to stop, then it's problematic if he didn't say bli neder, because it becomes like a...
It's like a vow at that point.
Yeah. So before you start doing anything that you didn't do previously, it's always a good idea to say bli neder the first time.
If you come out of the bathroom and there's no kli, so should you be... because it's a chumrah, is it okay to just wash your hands with the sink, or should you bedafka go and look for a kli? Let's say you're in a restaurant,
right?
And you come out and there's a sink there, but there's no kli. So
right. The question is, how much should you be machmir for chumrah? Yes. The answer is that as long as it doesn't interfere with any other halacha, it's very good to be machmir for chumrah. And to put in time and money and effort into being machmir in halacha is very important. But if it's not if it's at the expense of some other halacha or at the expense of someone else who might have to wait for you and doesn't want to wait, it's not at the expense of anything else, and it's a good thing to do. One always has to weigh these things.
So returning to the bathroom maybe to retrieve something, not because someone had number 2. You said you should also wash hands because the conditions of bathrooms today is quite different from then.
That's true.
Once read something.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. That's true. There are some who say that. There are some who say, like you say,
and you have
yes, correct.
Environment.
Correct, 100%. There are some who say that nowadays, because they're much cleaner, the bathrooms, if they compare it to what's called the Beis HaKisei de Parsiim. There's something in the Gemara called Beis HaKisei de Parsiim, which was very, very clean, and therefore one doesn't have to. Others say it's not quite the same. But you're correct.
But that wouldn't change.
Someone who does not wash, just going into a bathroom and leaving. Someone who doesn't wash has opinions on who to rely on.
What happens is there's only in the area is only a sink in the bathroom.
Right.
Can one wash in that sink and then
right?
exit?
So I think most poskim say that's okay. Though there are some who prefer that one wash outside. Yeah, but
There's
not
nothing
always.
there's nothing outside.
Yeah, that's not always.
Yeah,
possible.
Shuri Yatzar for sure should be outside.
Actually, yeah, definitely the Bochum one makes outside.
Like
Right.
petrol
It's-
station or something.
Right, yeah. People, it seems that the minhag olam, most people seem to wash inside, from what I've seen. Most people rely on the opinion that you can wash inside. But if there is a sink available outside, sometimes there's two. If there is one available outside, then it's preferable. Yeah. Okay.
But the issue of Ruach Ra is not affected by the cleanliness of the bathroom. Correct? Or not correct?
It's correct, but it might be that the issue of Ruach is dependent on it having a din of a bathroom. It has to be called a bathroom. And if it's one where the what's made, you flush it straight away and it leaves straight away, it doesn't stay there very long, right? After we finish, we flush it, right? So then it could be it hasn't got a halacha of a Beis HaKisei, it's not called a Beis HaKisei at all. It's a very good question you're asking, right? The Ruach Ra is dependent on being called a Beis HaKisei, a bathroom. However, it could be that what makes it be called a Beis HaKisei is not just that someone goes there to relieve himself, it's also that the excrement actually stays there. And right here, where we flush it and it leaves straight away, could be it's not called a Beis HaKisei at all. Right? A Beis HaKisei in this was what we have now a portaloo, what we call a portaloo.
So what would
it stays there.
What would you call a bathroom today?
So I'm saying like a portaloo. A portaloo would definitely be a bathroom.
No, I'm saying what would you call the bathroom that we have in homes today?
Be defined. No,
What would be the name for it?
It wouldn't. Like any other room. In terms of this Ruach Ra, it would be like a regular room that would not have Ruach Ra, perhaps.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay, where are we up to? Let's have a quick look at the Mishnah Berurah. So, Cotton Aleph, Mevorach v'chula. V'afilu nimshach zman godel achas yasatzoch, v'afilu hochichayv mevorach. If he forgot to make the Asher Yatzah straight away, right, or he couldn't for whatever reason, even if a large period of time elapses after he was in the bathroom, he should still make Asher Yatzah. He's still chayav to make Asher Yatzah. And then Berach Asher Yatzah ad sheroitz el hatamayim shenis das apim megodem to bekodem shiatz levarach Asher Yatzah ala tola rishona. Aval b'shayit shuva hiskim shem kamachonim tim nizka alachash hischil lo yitai v'shuv lo yivarach ein shom. The question is, what happens if he didn't make Asher Yatzah after he went to the bathroom the first time, and by the time he remembers, he already needs to go a second time. He remembers an hour too late, he already needs to go a second time. What should he do? The Mishnah Berurah brings two opinions, and the conclusion of the Mishnah Berurah is that once he has an urge to go a second time, he's now lost the bracha, the first bracha, the previous bracha. Right? This is similar to the bracha after eating. This is the same with Birkas HaMazon. If one forgets to make Birkas HaMazon, one should still make it until one is hungry again. Once one's hungry again after eating, then the hana, or the benefits of the previous eating have gone, and therefore he can't anymore make the bracha of Birkas HaMazon. It's the same idea here. And once he has an urge again to go to the bathroom a second time, then it's he can't anymore make that bracha, thanking Hashem for enabling him to relieve himself the first time.
So it's not 72 minutes after your last bite of food.
It's a minimum. In terms of Birkas HaMazon, 72 minutes is a minimum. If he had a big meal and he feels full for 2 hours afterwards, he can still make Birkas HaMazon 2 hours later.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
2 hours.
I'm saying even more than that. However, everyone
Isn't there a limit?
there's no limit. As long as the limit is as long as he feels full, as long as he's not hungry, as long as he's still full from the previous eating. So if he has a large meal, it can be a number of hours.
This washing your hands in the morning, say coming out of the bathroom. You have to be aware of the other reasons for washing hands when you touch shoes.
Right.
So if you, in the process of getting ready in the morning,
Yes.
clean the bathroom,
Yeah.
you know you're going to put your shoes on.
Right.
So you delay the washing of the hands. So you have to do it twice. Delay of the hands after the bathroom,
Yeah.
then put on the shoes in 5 minutes, and then do the washing of hands, which includes the washing of because it includes the touching of the shoes.
Right.
That's permissible. So
But no, but-
immediate have to leave the bathroom.
1 second. We're talking about that in the system when you wake up in the morning,
Yes.
when you wash your hands 3 times a morning. That we said you have to do straight away.
Not about bracha on washing hands from as you wake up after the bathroom.
So we're talking about you've already woken up, you've washed your hands already 3 times.
Yes.
And then you went to the bathroom,
But wash hands after the bathroom. But you
and now he
touch
knows
your
he's going to
shoes
touch his
in
shoes a few minutes later.
So you put in your shoes first, so you don't have to repeat all the time washing, again washing.
Okay, if it's difficult for him, then yeah, you could
Not
do it.
difficult, it seems to be like superfluous.
Super.
Put it all together and then wash your hands.
Unless you're a surgeon.
Do the shoes?
Just too much washing in the morning. I prefer to just have my bathroom and then get dressed, put my shoes on. Then I know I've got to wash my hands for the bathroom and the shoes. So
Right.
Do the
Okay,
shoes that we
it's
have
okay,
today?
it's fine to do that.
The shoes that we have today have the same din of the shoes then, because our shoes are also much cleaner. We're not walking on dirt floors.
Interesting question. I
Is
haven't
it
seen
just
it.
the bottom of the
It's
shoe?
an interesting question. I haven't heard anyone mention that. I don't know.
Maybe I
I
will
see
wash
that-
under the shoes in the evening, so it's really clean in the morning.
I've seen it with laces. People are making that if one just touches the laces and not the shoe,
They don't do
but
it.
people seem to be making. Yeah, but I don't. It's an interesting point you're making.
And
Clean
then also
shoes in
they
my
have
hand.
new shoes in a store, you're trying on new shoes, that doesn't apply.
That's
I
an
really
interesting
like
question. Really?
It doesn't
Okay.
apply to new shoes,
Ah.
etc.
That's
That's what I
interesting.
really want to say.
Very good. Okay.
So obviously it has some sort of, no, I thought maybe washing off the shoes, maybe there's something, as Joshua said, maybe the feet have got some evil feeling about it. But then a brand new pair of shoes in a shoe store may have been tried on before, so it's a very grey area. I don't know.
They haven't been used properly as shoes yet. If they're new shoes that haven't yet properly been, even if they've been tried on, they haven't been used as shoes.
As we know outside.
So maybe, yeah.
Right.
Haven't been worn properly.
So the question I think Michael's asking is actually, is it about feet or is it about dirt outside?
Right.
No, it's an interesting question. Answers I don't.
Or the shoe outside that's come in contact with maybe
Okay.
cemetery or
Right.
something, you know.
Fine. Okay. Well, I'll try and look into that.
It's a difficult.
Try and understand more about shoes. Good question. Okay. Sif cotton base in the Mishnah, which is on the bottom line. I'll show you. Kosav Rashal, right? The Marshal we said Shlomo Luria. He was at the same time as the Ramah and the Shulchan Aruch.
That's the same as the Marshal?
The Marshal and the Rashal is the same person. That's correct. Kosav Rashal b'tshuva simen tzadi zayin. Misha ochal dover shechai brocha choino v'shochach v'til mayim. V'nizka kodim shebol avorach asher yotza. Eiz mem kodim. He's got an interesting question here. Someone went to the bathroom, he forgot to say asher yotza, and then he ate something. And now he has to make 2 brachas, asher yotza and ala michya bo nefoshes, whatever the bracha choino is. Which one should he do first? Right? Which one comes first? So he answers, we have a general rule that whenever you have 2 brachas in front of you, and one of them is more regular than the other, more frequent than the other one, then one makes the more frequent one first. Todeh v'she'ino todeh, a frequent one and an infrequent one, then todeh kodem, the frequent one comes first. Right? So therefore one should make asher yotza first, because asher yotza is a more frequent bracha. Asher yotza one makes a number of times each day, more frequent one should therefore make it fast. Another example of this Todeh, there are many examples of the application of this rule of Todeh Shein Todeh. Another example would be if someone, there's a halacha that if someone doesn't daven musaf in the morning, and the musaf one can, preferably one should daven it in the morning until 7 hours of the day. If one can daven it all day musaf, one can daven it all day. What happens if one davens it in the afternoon, one wants to daven musaf? He hasn't daven mincha yet. What should he daven first, musaf or mincha? The answer is that if it's b'chidus, not in the tzibur is a different halacha, but if one's in b'chidus by davening by oneself, one davens mincha before musaf. Why? Because of this halacha of todeh she'ino todeh kodem. Mincha is a more frequent bracha, it comes every day, whereas musaf is just once every 7 days. Therefore, one davens mincha fast. So in this case, here one that says asher yotza, if he has asher yotza and a bracha achroina, he should say asher yotza first because it's more frequent. Next halacha is also an interesting halacha. Misha shoyses sam hamishalsha, right? Which I think nowadays is known as a laxative, right? Laxative, right? One takes a laxative, right? And so if someone has to do some sort of colonoscopy or something. I think then one has to take laxative first to clean out the whole system. Right, so he's in the middle of cleaning out the whole system. So he's taking this laxative, and he knows he's going to have to go now a number of times, one after the other. So should he make an ashayotza after every time, or should he wait until the end, until he's finished, before saying ashayotza? That's the question. So he says, Yesh oimrim de lo yivorchim achar gemara. Some say that one should only make the bracha of ashayotza at the very end. Yesh oimrim de yivorch b'chol pam. Some say he should make it each time. The minhag is like the second opinion, that one can make ashayotza after each time one leaves. One should say ashayotza after each time one relieves himself. However, if he has very severe diarrhea, and whether it's the result of laxative or not, if it's very severe diarrhea, and even after leaving, he immediately feels like he's going to have to go again very soon. Also, then definitely can't make a bracha. He can't even learn or make any brachas if he's in such a situation. Okay? So again, the conclusion is he should make a bracha each time, even if he's taking a laxative or a severe diarrhea. He should make a bracha each time, unless after he leaves the first time he already feels the urge that he's going to need to go again, in which case he shouldn't make a bracha. Okay. Fine. Let's move on. Let's see Sif Beis now. Let's go back to the Shulchan Aruch, Sif Beis. Hitel mein velo shef, afal pi shesoch levorach ashayatza, ein tzorch litoy yodov elem mishum dikios oy mishum hikoy. Someone relieved himself and he didn't make his hands dirty. He needs to make a bracha of ashayatza. And washing his hands is just for cleanliness. Or mishum hikoin is to prepare oneself for davening. If one's about to daven, one would need to wash one's hands for davening. Let's continue Sif Gimel. Now let's have a look at the Mishnah Berurah of Cotton Hay. Mishnah Berurah of Cotton Hay, which is on the second wide line. If he hasn't got any water to wash his hands, he still has to make the bracha hashayotza. Even if his hands are dirty, if he wipes his hands on anything that cleans, on a towel or something, anything that will clean dirt off his hands, and that's good enough. If he hasn't got the water, he after relieving himself, he cleans his hands on something, and then he can make the bracha hashayotza. Sif Dalet, back to the Shulchan Aruch at the top. Sif Dalet. Did we read Sif Gimel? No. Sif Gimel.
We haven't done Gimel.
Hitel mayim v'siach dato min hatel mayim. V'achar kach nimlach v'hitel mayim pam acheres. So levorach beis pamim hashayotza. Right. So he mentions that if one relieved himself twice successively and didn't make hashayotza in between, and one makes hashayotza afterwards twice. But we've already seen the Mishnah Berurah doesn't agree with this opinion, and he holds that once, and this is how we paskin, that once even before he goes the second time, once he has the urge to go a second time, he already loses the first hashayotza, doesn't make that hashayotza.
The English translation of this,
yeah,
implies that this is happening very close together. It's not like one passed water and then came back 20 minutes later. It's like moments later.
Okay.
The English translation is if one passed water and left off passing water, but changed his mind subsequently and passed water another time. It sounds like he's in the process and paused and then started again.
Okay.
From this.
Okay, even if that's the
But
case,
even
then
that's the case, it says you say it
according
twice.
to Mishnah Berurah, you only say, the Shulchan Aruch says one says it twice,
Right.
and the Mishnah Berurah says once.
Right.
Assuming even the Shulchan Aruch, he stepped out of the bathroom and then went back in and realized, no, I'm going to continue. I don't think he's still standing in the same place. With the changed his mind. I'm assuming he walked away.
According to the Shulchan Aruch, would he have to move to a different place? That's your question. According to the Shulchan Aruch, would he have to move to? I don't know. It's unclear.
For
unclear.
you don't say it once anyway.
Right.
So it's
According to the Mishabur.
According to the
According to the
Mishabur,
Mishabur, yeah. According to the Mishabur, there's
Questions about the Shulchan.
Yeah, the halacha is not relevant. You're asking the Taz of the Shulchan Aruch. According to the Mishabur, anyway, one only says it once. That's for sure. And let's continue. Sif Daled.
Siach Daito, so I don't know whether that means like he thought I'm
He
done.
thought he's finished, done, and then he continued. That's what it sounds like. He thought he's done, and then he decides he needs to continue. Yeah. Sif Daled. Ein shel hashtin mayim ki afilu l'tipo achas chayiv levorich. Right. What happens if he said that there's no minimum amount that one needs to in terms of when one urinates, even if it's just one drop that comes out, chayiv levorich, he still has to make kashrut-kosher. If chas v'sholem that the hole would be closed and he wouldn't be able to relieve himself of that one drop, that would not be comfortable, and therefore even for the smallest amount we make kashrut-kosher to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving us the ability to relieve ourselves. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start the halachas of tzitzis.